Hey everyone, today making a video on whether you should be buying a brand new car or just buy a cheap $1,000 car that will last you not 300,000 miles but maybe 50,000 miles. And we're gonna see, is it better to just go with that or go with the brand new car? It's gonna cost you a lot at first, but it's gonna last you to 300,000 miles. So what I'm thinking, and I haven't really tried it, I'm still in the process of experimenting. 4 years ago, I bought a Geo Metro. It lasted me 50,000 miles, but I only paid 50. I only paid $1,100 for the car. So I'm thinking, should I get a new car or should I just keep buying another used car that's cost me $1,000 and will last me another 50,000 miles or more, hopefully more. So I'm gonna see. What if I were to buy a new car for 300,000 miles, which is the amount I think is cars typically go for or last long enough to reach that point, or buy six cars that will last me 50,000 miles, used cars, of course, that will last me 50,000 miles, and six of them will add up to 300,000 miles. So let's check out the math on the car I had, which was a Geo Metro, costed 1,100, lasted me 50,000 miles, and I'll show you all the details on the amount of money I put into it to fix it, all the things that I had to do to make it work throughout the years, and then we're gonna compare it to a brand new car like the Honda Insight, which is very fuel efficient, a Toyota Corolla, which is very typical, very average car that many people will get. And if you're thinking, why not a Honda Civic, very close to it. They're very similar cars. And then we're gonna look at a Tesla, which is all electric. And if you're thinking of getting a Tesla, you might want to think about it, and it might be good compared to our next comparison, which is a Hellcat. A Hellcat, a muscle car. You see a lot of youngsters getting their Hellcat. They're looking nice and fast in the streets, but is it nice and good to their wallet? And that's what I'm gonna show you right now. And just note that these estimates that I'm making are just estimates. They're not completely accurate numbers, but they are your average, your what you will find on Google. And I just put it together, and let's see. Let's go and check out the computer. So for our first example is the Geo Metro. I own a Geo Metro, and to show you the exact numbers of the Geo Metro, and to get so you can get familiar where I'm getting these numbers from. So I bought a one used Geo Metro. I bought it for $1,000. It gave me 50,000 miles. There's a total gasoline I spent on the car, because if you look at the numbers, I basically said that it was giving me 28 miles per gallon. I divided the miles it gave me, which was 50,000, divided by 28 times $3. I'll just say $3 of gas. It's probably the gasoline is actually more expensive, but for all the cars, I'm just gonna say $3,000. And if you want to make the math crazy, you put the real numbers and it gets pretty bad real quick. So if you want to see what happens if I put the actual number of 5, it changed to like by $1,000. So let me just leave it at $3,000. At $3, sorry. I bought a catalytic converter, I bought some sensors, I bought tires. I only changed it once. Fuel pump, I had to replace that. I got a tune-up, little brakes pads, turn signals here and there. Had no loan, so didn't pay anything for that. Insurance throughout the years I was paying. It lasted me 4 years, so it was 4 years. In those 4 years, I paid $50 a month, and it was 48 months total that I paid for it. So 2,400 in insurance total. Replacement battery, I replaced the battery once. It's a very small battery, so it only costed $80. Oil change, what I would do is I would just top it off. I would never go to a mechanic to get it to get an oil change. I would just add oil or do it myself once. I probably only did it twice throughout the 4 years, but I would just top it off, and because it would burn oil. So any maintenance, pretty much all of this was the maintenance I did, but I never took it to mechanic for a real specific tune-up and such and such. So this is the total cost of the Geo Metro. it was $10,000 to get that car running for four years, with all of these added up. So it's the sum of all that. And yeah, so in 4 years, I spent $10,000 for a car, everything included. Maybe I'm missing some things like registration and stuff like that, but those are very minute compared to like what the actual things are that cost and make a difference. So let's look at the uh, so 6 Geo Metros. Here we are, 6 Geo Metros. So if I were to buy 6 Geo Metros, which will last me roughly 24 years, because let's look at the main criteria, which I actually skipped. Key factors. Let's look at some key factors first before we jumped into this. So let's say each car lasts 300,000 miles. Let's say the tires last 50,000 miles, so replace them every 50,000 miles. Let's say you pay retail price except for the Geo Metro. Let's say you drive 12,500 miles a year. And let's say, well, not even let's say, it will last you 24 years, to run down the car up to 300,000 miles if you're doing 12,000 miles a year. So this is important. This 24 years is important for insurance because you're paying monthly. It's important for maybe recalls, but I'm not even taking that into account. It's just mostly for the insurance, and you'll see why soon. So let's look at the Geo Metro, the 6 Geo Metros. The 6 Geo Metros will cost, the 6 Geo Metros will cost me 6,600. 6 Geo Metros, drive it up to 300. Will give me 300,000 miles if I drive 6 Geo Metros for 50,000 miles each. Total energy, gasoline will be spent $32,000 for 300,000 miles. That's how much it costs. If you think about it that way, miles cost dollars. So if you were to divide the amount of miles per the total cost, it gives you a number of miles per dollar. Or you could do dollars per mile. Just divided it up. If you want to do it right now, let's look at the miles per gallon, miles per dollar that it gave me. So it would give me, not gave me, 300K divided by 64,000. It pretty much gives me 4 miles per dollar. $4 per mile. Let's leave that up there. 4 miles per hour. For $4 per mile. No, miles per dollar, sorry. Miles per dollar. Okay. We'll just add that to all of them. So this is the total cost. We already went through it for the first Geo. And total amount $64,000 for 24 years. And let's look at the insurance. Insurance would cost me $14,000. I think that might be wrong, actually. I think that might be wrong. So $50 times 288 months. Yep, that's correct. Oh, wow. That's pretty good. Alright, now let's look at the next cheapest car, which was the Honda Insight. Let's look at the Honda Insight. Honda Insight. Here we go. Honda Insight. The Honda Insight will be the car price. There we go. Car price 22,000 miles. You already know that. Total energy is only 16,000. Why is it cheaper than the Geo Metro? 6 Geo Metros, because it has very good fuel efficiency, 55 miles per gallon. Damn, that's really good. If you're trying to get a new car, this is the next cheapest car, probably the cheapest car throughout the lifetime, compared to all the other ones. Still more expensive than a used car every year, every 50,000 miles. It's still slightly expensive, but for the first years you are very comfortable. You don't have to worry about any fixtures or issues or any anxiety of getting stuck on traffic with a broken engine. So this is general average numbers. Pause the video to see the numbers and view them for themselves. View them for yourself. Insurance, it might be less than this because as the car gets older, the insurance cost will drop down. So this 120 is the monthly cost. I think it would go down. After 24 years, it will definitely go down all the way to like $50 possibly. But remember inflation over the years and all that kind of stuff. Well, let's just keep it at today's dollars, okay? Let's just, for our own sake and convenience, let's just keep it around today's dollars. Battery replacement. The car does need a battery replacement at some point. Now you can look it up. Maybe I would say during the 150,000 mile mark, you probably need a replacement. It costs 6,500. That's what I found on Google. Any maintenance you do, maybe like once a year you do like a $300 maintenance, something like that. I think that's what I did. So $300 per 24 years. That's your maintenance. I didn't put oil change. For the oil change, I just left it out because I think that's included in the maintenance cost. If you don't want to use, if you want to add some oil cost, just go back to the Geo Metro, which is like around 1,500, I think. And let's double check. 500, 6 Geo Metros, oil change $3,000. Okay. Honda Insight. So, and our total cost is $93,000 for 24 years with the Honda Insight for 300,000 miles. Let's look at the miles per dollar. So every dollar you put in is gonna give you miles. So let's do our little equation. 300K divided by, boom, we get 3.2, rounded up, 3.2 miles per dollar. Yeah, that's pretty good deal. Now the next one is our Toyota. Our Toyota Corolla. Yes, Toyota Corolla. Very slightly cheaper than the Insight in terms of retail price. 19,000 miles used, same. Gas 25,000. Better gas mileage than the Geo Metro because it's modern, has better technology, but still higher than the Insight by I think $9,000 throughout the lifetime. You do need to add a catalytic converter. Tires probably the same as the Insight. Fuel pump will be replaced. You got tune-up, you got like spark plugs and all that stuff. Brake system pretty much the same. Loan, interest on loan, pretty much the same as the Insight. Insurance cost, here we go, where it's the same as the Insight. I'm just gonna pretty much say that the insurance cost will be the same for almost all of them. For the last two cars, it's gonna be a little bit higher. I think I left this the same for one of the expensive cars, but it's okay. That's not the main difference. The big factor you'll see later on, as we see the last car, what contributes to the highest cost. So pretty much the Toyota Corolla comes out very close to the Insight. And I think that's because of the battery replacement, and I think it's because they offset each other. So pretty much the same thing. Toyota Corolla versus the Honda Insight, pretty much the same. Honda Insight, Toyota Corolla, you get to choose, up to you. So Toyota Corolla and Honda Insight are pretty much the same thing. There we go. Now let's look at the Tesla. Have you been thinking of getting a Tesla? Well, let's look at the numbers. Let's look what the numbers say. The numbers say, if you get a $40,000 Model 3 car, I think that's doable. I think most people are saying 55. Let's go with the 55. They say it's gonna. Let's just leave it at 45. Let's leave it at 45,000. Okay, let's leave it at the 45,000. The Tesla, 45K, same miles. Total energy spent, I looked it up on the internet, that it gives you I forgot the math, but it was like $7 for every recharge. So every recharge is 250 miles. It costs $7 to refuel all those 250 miles. And then I divided, so I first did 300K divided by 250 miles, and then that gives me a number, and then I multiply that times $7, and that gives me $8,400 to fuel your Tesla for 24 years or 300,000 miles. That's pretty cheap. That's 3 times cheaper than a Toyota Corolla, and twice as cheap as the Honda Insight. No catalytic converters needed, sensors possibly not. Tires are very expensive, they're very performance like, they're 4-wheel drive, so they run out pretty quickly. It'd probably be higher than that, especially if you're using the ludicrous feature on Tesla, and it's gonna make your tires run out much faster. So I would say even $10,000, as high as $10,000. Fuel pump, there's no fuel pump, there's no tune, engine things they have to do. Brakes, I'm pretty sure they're expensive, pretty big. It's a very heavy car, so it needs big brakes. Turn signals, I don't know. That's not pretty much. I don't think that's a big issue. I don't know why I put it there. Interest on loan, $6,000, with a 4.2 APR. I think that's the average, the national average. I think for auto loans, I think it was that. I think where was it? I don't know where I looked it up, but it was. I think the average was like 4.2. What people end up getting their loans at. If you could get it even cheaper, it's cool. But like for 24, for 5 years, you're gonna end up paying $6,000. Remember, I don't think I added to the criteria that the loan is a 5-year loan. 5-year loan, okay. All right, all right. Insurance more expensive because it's probably considered luxury car. I was looking on the internet and it was like $1,500 a year for insurance. Battery replacement, I like, surprisingly, from according to the internet and Google, that the Tesla retains its battery power and battery potential for extensive, even past the 150,000 mile mark. It retains, I think it was between 75 and 90% of its battery potential. So that's pretty good. I don't think you're gonna need a battery replaced. If that's the case, no oil changes, maintenance. If you want the car up to date and everything, you may have to get like maybe alignments and stuff like that. I just put in a $7,000 one. I looked it up on Google. So your total cost, not that much different from a Toyota Corolla, only $11,000. Wow. I mean 11. What am I talking about? 111,000 miles, which is about 15,000 higher than a Toyota Corolla. 15,000 and like close to 20,000 higher than the Insight, which is still great. Like it's wow, it's good compared to our final comparison, which is the Dodge Charger Hellcat. And here we are, Dodge Charger Hellcat. And we have a retail price of 65,000. You're already probably looking at the total price. It's crazy, yes. So look at this, is the insane number right here. This is the insane crazy number that's making it cost the most. Your total gas that you're gonna be spending throughout the lifetime of a car. If it even lasts you 300,000 miles, I doubt that it will last you 300,000 miles because these cars, people just floor it. They're probably gonna need a. Oh my god, the cost would just go higher, man. I think it's just even worse. So what I said, this car is gonna get. Oh, I think I wrote the wrong thing. I think it's gonna get 18,000 miles. Yep, that made a huge difference. Okay, see what I did there? The car gets between 13 and 15,000 miles. I mean, it gets between 13 and 22 miles per gallon. And yeah, so if you're driving an average of 18 miles per gallon, you're gonna get 50,000 miles. So I doubt people who like these cars drive that close to efficiency. But 50,000 miles. Notice how 8 miles per gallon saves you $40,000 throughout 24 years. Wow, crazy stuff. Catalytic converter, I imagine it's more expensive. Everything else, insurance, pretty much said it was the same as the other ones. Tires are more expensive. Fuel pump and all the kind of fixtures for the engine are just going to be more expensive. Oil change, interest is also high. Interest on loan 7,000. So your total cost is 80,000. So about 90,000 more expensive than Insight and a Corolla. 110,000 higher than Geo 6 Geo Metros, and 70,000 higher than a Tesla. So you're probably better off. You are better off buying a Tesla than a Dodge Charger Hellcat. A Tesla's faster, it's nicer, it's more slick, it's quieter, it's higher technology, it's safer. It's safer. I think that's enough for you all to like ditch the Dodge Charger. I don't know how much it's gonna retain its value, but I would imagine that with the cars, the people that drive these cars, they don't really take care of its engine. They just rev it up, so it ends up with a lot of mechanical problems. I doubt that these cars would sell for more or like appreciate in value. Tesla also is really good at maintaining. It's not also, but it is a car that maintains value. I feel I've seen a Tesla Roadster, the 2008 Tesla Roadsters, the ones that look like a Lotus. They still go for $50,000 after 10 years. How is that? Or 11 years? That is crazy. So that's my video. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informative. Please drop a like. Please subscribe. I'm posting videos like these that are helpful and informative for you to make, or take an opinion and take an idea and form your own opinion and make an educated decision. So with that being said, subscribe, leave comments below. If you think I'm wrong on my judgments and calculations, please let me know, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Bye bye.